I'm Priestess Autumn Venus, Priestess of Coven of the Venus, located here in New York City. Find me on social media, on Instagram at Autumn_Venus1, on Facebook as Magically Blessed, spelled with a K. Find me on Twitter at Priestess Autumn. Find me on YouTube at Autumn Venus. And of course, find me here on Periscope at Autumn Venus. Autumn Venus. So tonight's broadcast, I'm going to be showing you 5 banishing spells for free. I do not usually do free broadcasts, but I feel like a lot of people, a lot of witches are under attack by people who don't agree with them living a magically filled life, being part of Wicca. And I always say, you have the right to protect yourself. It is legal to practice witchcraft in the United States. It is not illegal. If you're on your own property, you can do witchcraft. And the police can't do anything to you because you're on your own property. So just in case some of you witches that are new to the craft don't know that, now you're in the know. But tonight I have 5 easy banishing spells that you can do if you are new to practicing witchcraft, because you have the right to protect yourself. You have the right to banish bad habits, banish bad people, banish bad thoughts that you might be having about yourself, banish bad words that you speak into existence. Because when you speak negativity out of your mouth, you will always get twice as much negativity given back to you. So you always have to speak with intention. Intention, for example, is saying, I will have a Maserati in my garage. Speaking without intention is, damn, I wish I could afford a Maserati. Never speak in the negative sense when doing witchcraft. Because if you do, you won't never have that Maserati in your garage. You won't never have that fur coat. You won't never have that second home. When you do witchcraft, you always have to speak in a positive. That is what is known as intention. You can't speak negatively about yourself. Banishing magic is a skill that should be in the capability of all witches. Every witch should know how to do 1 or 2 banishing spells, because we all come across people that we don't like. We all have habits that are hard to break. We all have things about us that are holding us back from stepping into our full potential. Banishing magic gives you the power to clear and remove those bad things. That's what banishing magic is. The ability to clear that stuff up and to permanently remove it. Doing that gives you back control over your own life. And that is what Wicca is in a nutshell. Taking back control over your own life. And if you choose to, taking back control over your own life by magical means. The first banishing spell I'm going to show you is something that I call Burn It Away. Now, this is a spell that a whole lot of witches that get started doing witchcraft do. You basically take a slip of paper. I have it, okay. You take a slip of paper, something to write with, a pencil, a pen, a marker, a crayon. You take a fireproof bowl. I'm going to be using my cauldron. Yeah, I actually do have a cauldron. I've had it for a couple of years now, and it's very sturdy. It's fireproof, so I don't have to worry about having a really big flame. when you do choose your cauldron, make sure that it's big enough so that the fire, when you light something inside of it, the fire does not actually burn out of control. So then your house is probably going to burn down. So this is my cauldron. It's mad big, right? And you take matches or a lighter, which is what I'm going to use. I'm going to use a lighter. Just a typical lighter that you would use to, hook up a grill. So with this spell, you write down what you are banishing. It can be a person. It can be a bad habit. It can be a spirit. It can be something so intangible like negative self-talk or laziness. Just write it down for a moment. So for example, I would write down I want to banish my bad habit of putting off things until the last minute. So I'm going to write that down. What I am banishing is the bad habit of putting things off until the last minute. So I wrote down, what I am banishing is the bad habit of putting things off until the last minute. So you fold this paper up as many times as you want and you light it on fire. And you drop it into your fireproof bowl or your cauldron. As it's burning, you want to imagine that spirit, that bad habit, that bad person burning away from your life, burning away from your magical circle. Let me just move this back a little bit. And just imagine that bad habit, bad person being gone from your life. I just need to take a step back so I don't inhale any of the smoke. So give it a minute. It's burning up. The paper does not have to be all the way burned as long as the words themselves are burned. And if you might want to take your fire alarm off the wall and take the batteries out so it's not going off when you're working with, burning things. And that is spell number 1. Burning it away. Alright then. That's the first banishing spell. So when you do that spell, you want to focus on what your life will be like once that bad person is gone, once that bad spirit is gone, once that bad habit is gone. That's spell number 1 for banishing if you are new to practicing witchcraft. You want to take the ashes from that paper and get rid of it off of your property. Don't take it outside and dump it into your own trash can. Take it off your property. Don't put it on your neighbor's property either. Take it maybe a block away, a block or 2 away. Get it off your property. Because if you don't, that negative habit, that negative spirit, that negative person is still going to be there. Get rid of it. Get it off your property immediately after it has been turned to ash. And this spell is also good to do if you happen to be short on time. If you don't really have a whole lot of time to do a big ritual, that's a good spell to do. Because it only takes about 10 minutes. It does not take long at all. So if you're crunched for time, that's a good spell to do. The next spell for banishment I'm going to show you is candle banishing. You need 1 black or 1 white candle. If you don't have a black candle, because I know black candles are not easy to find in the stores unless you actually go to a witch shop or buy one online. They're not easy to find in stores. So if you can't find a black candle, you can use a white candle in its place. In witchcraft, when doing witchcraft, you can use a white candle to replace any color candle that you may not have. Because it's universal. You can find white candles everywhere. You can find it in your grocery store, the Dollar Tree store, everywhere. That's why it's considered to be a replacement for any other color candle that you may not have. So if you do have a black candle, okay, great. If you have a white candle, okay, great. But the spell calls for 1 black candle, a candle holder, matches, and white pepper, and a carving tool, and oil. Your candle does not have to be a 7-day candle. It can be something simple as a tea light candle, which is what I have. I'm not buying a 7-day candle when I don't need that much wax. So you can use a tea light candle. When it comes to oil, and I said that you can use any type of oil. If you don't have a essential oil, you can use olive oil, or you can also use vegetable oil. Look, I know that essential oils, pure lavender, pure rosemary, pure lilac, pure rose, I know those types of essential oils are very expensive. So if you want to save yourself some money, use vegetable oil or olive oil in its place. You don't have to buy a big thing of olive oil. And when you do decide to use olive oil, you have to use pure olive oil. You can't buy that cheap olive oil that says olive oil with other things in it. I know that olive oil is not cheap, but some grocery stores sell the small Goya olive oil. That's pure. You can buy that if they happen to have it in your grocery store. If you buy olive oil from a witch shop in stores or online, it's going to be very expensive. That witch is going to overcharge you because they know that olive oil can replace any oil that you may not have. So they are going to try to scam you. So just buy it from a grocery store. In the grocery store, the small thing of olive oil is $3.99. In a witch shop, it might be $8.99. And it's the same shit that you could have just gotten from the grocery store. Okay, so be very careful, and like I always say, stick within your budget. If you can't afford the type of essential oil that you want, buy vegetable oil or buy olive oil from the grocery store. Okay, because I know that a lot of supplies, when it comes to witchcraft, is expensive, and I know a lot of new witches that are just starting out doing witchcraft may not afford it. So olive oil or vegetable oil is a great replacement for a essential oil that you may not be able to afford. At least not right now, until you do a spell to bring that money to you so you can afford it, right? So I need my salt. I'm using a tea light candle. I'm not using a 7-day pillar candle. I'm not. So I have my tea light candle here, and I'm going to use vegetable oil to cleanse it. Let me tell you something about candles. When it comes to candles and doing witchcraft, you have to cleanse that candle of anybody else's energy that may be attached to it. You have to cleanse the energy of anybody else that may have handled that candle before you. Now, when I brought these tea light candles, they were in plastic, they were silver, but somebody still had to handle it, right? So that means me being a responsible witch, I still have to cleanse the energy of those persons that may have handled the candle before me. Because you do not want any disruption. You don't want any problems when that candle is lit. Some candles may not light. Some candles may not stay lit because you have not cleansed it. You have to cleanse candles that you buy. I don't care if you buy it from a witch shop at an actual store or buy it online. You know what? You still have to cleanse it. You did not make that candle. Somebody else's energy is attached to it. So you have to cleanse it off. It's not being offensive. Any responsible witch should know that. Any. And any witch that tells you, oh, you don't have to cleanse the energy of this candle, it's already cleansed, they're lying to you. Their energy, when they made that candle, went into that candle, and it's still in that candle until you cleanse it yourself before you use it. Okay, so what I'm going to use is vegetable oil because I ran out of olive oil. So I have my vegetable oil here, and you don't need a whole lot. Listen to me. You don't need a whole lot of oil. You know that if you put oil on fire, you're going to have a big fire, and your house is probably going to burn down. Okay? So do not use a whole lot of oil unless you want your house to burn down, because that's the only thing that's going to happen if you use too much oil. Alright? Please keep that in mind. Do not burn your house down. So I'm going to cleanse this candle really quick. I'm going to show you how too. Okay, so I have this open. Just a little tiny bit, like the smallest amount. just going to go over this candle. Try not to touch the wick, because that's when your chances of you having a big flame when you light it, you know, goes up a notch. So try not to touch the wick. Try to just go around the waxy part of the candle. Okay. And just go over it. Like I said, please do your best to not touch this wick. And you don't need a whole lot of wax. And there you have it. Now your candle is ready for magical use. So you take your salt. Let me put this up. You take your salt. It does not matter what type of salt it is. It can be kosher. It can be iodine salt. It does not matter. You take your salt and you sprinkle it around you in a clockwise order. Let me see something. Hold on. No, not clockwise. Counterclockwise. Now, counterclockwise order. Around yourself, around your work area, and you visualize the salt creating a barrier, a shield, a fence, a protection, and you call the target of your banishing spell. So who do you want to banish from your life? Is it a ex-boyfriend, a ex-girlfriend, a ex-wife, a ex-husband, a co-worker, your boss? Who do you want to banish from your life? Call that person forth. So if you say something like, I call forth Thomas to banish you from my life. So you say that thing, or whoever you want to banish. And then I've already anointed my candle with the vegetable oil to cleanse it. So you set the candle in this candle holder. I got this from the Dollar Tree. Believe that? I got this from the Dollar Tree for Halloween or Samhain, and I absolutely love it. It's a lantern, but you can put a candle in it, and it looks like a jack-o'-lantern. And I'm gonna light this. And you allow your candle to burn out or for as long as you want it to. You can also take your carving tool or your ritual knife and carve your intention into the candle instead of speaking it out loud. You can take your carving utensil and carve your intention into your candle if you don't want to speak it out loud because you don't want people to overhear you. So that's another way that you can, you know, put your intention out there is by carving it into the candle itself. Or like I just did, you can speak it out loud. And you allow the candle to either burn out all the way or you let the candle burn out for as long as you want it to. Of course, you would never go to sleep with a candle lit because your house might burn down and you might die. Alright? I know some witches say that you can leave candles lit all day, especially when it comes to 7-day candles. Don't do that. No. Don't do that. Do not go to sleep with a candle lit. That's a bad idea and it's not going to end anywhere good. Okay? Do not do that. Put the candle out. Snuff it out. You snuff it out by using an actual candle snuffer or just by simply putting a plate on top of it. You don't want to blow the candle out because you will be blowing out your intention. You will be basically throwing it in the trash. So please do not keep your candles lit all day, all night. It even says so on the bottom. You know there's a warning when you buy candles that says do not keep this candle lit for more than 4 hours. Please listen to that warning. Because if you keep it lit for any longer than that, it actually might explode. Because the glass has gotten so hot. This tea light candle is probably going to be lit for 2 hours, maybe 2 hours and 20 minutes. Not that long. That is definitely not a 7-day candle. But if you are going to use a pillar candle and you happen to be going out, put the candle out. Do not go to sleep with the candle either. Okay? But because it's just because a candle is being used for magical purposes does not take away that it's still a candle. This is real fire. It's not one of those candles that you add batteries to. Okay? Fire is still hot. Fire can still cause damage. So please do not go to sleep with a lit candle, and do not leave your house with a lit candle still on your altar, burn away, because when you come home, you might not have a home. Alright, so please be magically responsible. I can't say it any more blunt than that. I can't sugarcoat it. I've known too many witches that have had catastrophes happen in their home because they went to sleep with a candle or they left their house with a candle still lit. But that won't be you though. Because now you know, don't do that dumb shit. Alright? So I'm going to put this to the side and move into the third banishing spell. For this spell, you need a small, compact mirror. You know the type of mirrors that you can just fit inside of your purse. And you need something to write with. A pencil, a marker, a pen, a crayon, something to write with. A mirror like this. One of those small, compact mirrors. This spell reflects negative energy back at the person that sent it out to you. So this is used for people that you don't want in your life, people who cause nothing but chaos and just have a negative effect on your livelihood. You don't want those people in your life because those people will hold you back from living a magically filled life. On the back of the mirror, you want to write the name of your target, and I'm going to use my pencil again. So my target will probably be somebody named James. Just throwing a name out there, James. So you write your target's name on the back of your mirror. You might want to use a pencil because when you're done with the spell, you can just erase it. So you don't have to worry about somebody asking you, who's James? If you happen to make the mistake and write it in a marker or a pen, you know, something permanent. So I suggest that you use a pencil instead of something permanent like a marker or a pen when somebody might say, who are you talking about? Who's James? So use a pencil because you can just erase it. So my target is James. So that's what I'm write down. And then you write, you have sent me strife. And caused me pain. I now reflect it back to you again. This type of spell, like I said, will reflect the negative energy that has been sent your way back to sender. So if somebody is messing with your money, if somebody's stopping your bag, send it back to them so they can be bankrupt. Okay? If you really are advanced in the craft, you can bankrupt a motherfucker. Alright? I'll just tell you straight up and down. I've done it to people. People who have tried to stop my bag. People who have tried to stop me in my career. And I don't feel anything about it. Because if you're going to throw out negative energy and lie on people and try to piss on people and try to defame people, then you are going to get that back. Because I said in the beginning of this broadcast, you have the right to protect yourself. You have the right to not be a victim. You have the right to not be bullied. You have the right to live a magically filled life. And that starts with knowing how to do banishing magic. Because you don't have to be, a scared little cat being drowned in the bathtub. All witches have claws and teeth. And when those things are bared, watch the fuck out. So this spell will reflect anything that somebody may have sent your way. Trust me, you always know who it is. You always know deep down inside who's trying to fuck with you. You always know. So why not give that person back what they have given you? Why turn the other cheek? Because once you start to turn the other cheek, that person will think that you're a punk and that you will put up with it. But once you stop it, as soon as it happens to you, they won't fuck with you anymore. And you don't want to fuck with a witch. Okay? The fourth spell for banishment is what I call thievery, a thief by vinegar. For this spell, you need rosemary, which I have. I'm gonna go get it. You need rosemary, lavender, vinegar, and a container to put it in. You need an airtight container. So you can use a spaghetti, a glass spaghetti, anything. Please don't use plastic because you will have mold and that will stink up your house. So you take a glass container like this. I have a lot of these. You take a glass container like this. You take vinegar. I don't have a whole lot left. Take vinegar. You take rosemary. You take lavender. Now listen, when it comes to herbs, stick within your budget. You can use dried herbs. You can use dried lavender or rosemary. You don't have to use fresh if you can't afford fresh. And dried herbs are much more available. And they cost a whole lot less. But they still work the same way as fresh lavender or fresh rosemary. Okay? So don't worry about, if it's still going to work, if it's not fresh. Yeah. If the lavender is not fresh and it is dried, it's still going to work the same way. Okay? So you take your jar here. And you put a little bit of vinegar. You don't have to use a whole lot. Okay? Take your vinegar. Oh shit, I can't open it. Oh, I got it. You take your vinegar. And you put a little bit. You don't have to use all of it. You don't even have to use half of it. Just put a little bit in here. That's it. Just this little bit. Not a whole lot. And you take your lavender. You don't need a whole lot of this either. Take your lavender. Just as little is all you need. Just as little. And you put it inside your container. You take your rosemary and put it in here. Just a little bit. You don't need a whole lot. And you put your rosemary in here. And the reason why you don't want a whole lot of vinegar is because vinegar has a strong smell. It's not pleasant. And that's also why you want a airtight container. Okay? Because it'll smell really funky in your house if it's not an airtight container. And just shake it. I know it's not a whole lot because you don't need a whole lot. You just really need this little bit right here. Just this little bit right here is all you need. You don't need a whole lot. And then you store it in a cool, dry place. And every now and then you shake it every day for about 4 weeks. You use it to sprinkle your doorstep to stop people who you don't want at your house from coming over. So if you have a family member that you don't want at your house, do this. If you have an ex-boyfriend, an ex-girlfriend, do this. They won't come to your house no damn more. And it also keeps your enemies away. You can also include it in your recipes. If you happen to be a kitchen witch, you can also include this in your recipes. But if you include this in your recipes, it will guard yourself against evil and also break spells that were sent to you. Break curses and hexes that were sent into you because you have put it into your body to protect yourself from whatever damage that hex or curse might do to you. Hexes, let me tell you something about the two hexes and curses real quick. Hexes usually last about a couple weeks or a couple of months. Curses can last years, generations, and centuries. But you really have to be a powerhouse of a witch to do a curse like that. So that's the difference between a hex and a curse. A hex usually lasts for a couple weeks. A curse lasts for months, years, generations, and centuries. But like I said, you really have to be a powerhouse doing witchcraft to accomplish that because it's not easy. And curses are a lot harder to break. They're very hard to break. They're not easy. So doing this simple spell and including it into your recipes, if you happen to be a kitchen witch, will guard you from your enemies, stop people from coming over to your house who you don't want there, and using it in your food when you cook like salad or mixing up in any type of food that you eat will, guard you against evil and break spells that were cast on you. So that's a very important spell, I think, because we all have people that we know don't like us, even though they don't have to say anything to us. We just know deep down that this bitch don't like me. Okay, fine, bitch, don't like me. But you're not going to interrupt my livelihood, though. It's not happening, boo thing. It's not happening. So this particular spell will guard against those enemies. They won't fuck with you. Now the fifth and final banishing spell I'm going to show you, if you happen to be new to practicing witchcraft, is a banishing bath spell. I have a bowl of water here that I'm going to show you as an example because my own tub is actually being redone. So I can't take you into the bathroom with me because my bathtub is being redone. So I'm going to show you the example with a bowl of water. Now for the spell, obviously you need a bathtub and you need Epsom salt. You can buy that at the Dollar Tree store. And everybody has a bathtub. And you need lavender too. Lavender, like I said, if you buy lavender dried, it does not cost as much money. But if you buy it fresh, you're going to really have to come out of pocket. And like I said, dried herbs works just as good as fresh herbs. So don't get scammed, okay? So you run your bath, and this is my bath for tonight. This is my example, my bowl of water here. And you add your lavender to it. Like I said, you do not have to use a whole lot of lavender. Just like, even just one piece of lavender, works. You don't have to dump the whole thing in there. So you take your lavender, and you add it to your bath water. Yes, in the whole tub. In the whole tub. And you take your Epsom salt and you swirl the water around, just a little bit. You swirl the water around counterclockwise. So picture the face of a clock and just go counterclockwise. Go in the opposite direction. Do it 3 times and chant this following spell. Trouble be gone, wash clean away, leave me free of smoking this day. You say it 3 times, whatever you're banishing. So let me say it again and also use my example because I'm not actually a smoker. Trouble be gone, wash clean away, leave me free of smoking this day. Trouble be gone, wash clean away, leave me free of smoking this day. Trouble be gone, wash clean away, leave me free of smoking this day. You say this 3 times, whatever you want to banish from your life. It does not have to be smoking, whatever type of bad situation you have going on in your life, period. Then you would relax and enjoy your bath. And you know that Epsom salt is good for getting rid of toxins out of your body. So if you do happen to be a smoker, it will, over time, if you keep up with it, those toxins will come out of your body and you will break the habit of smoking. But you also have to do your part. You still have to get assistance from your medical provider to help you completely stop smoking. Because you know that witchcraft only gives you a boost. You still have to do your part. You still have to seek help to stop smoking completely. You can't just do a spell and expect the problem to go away. You still have to do your part. And when you do your part, that's when magic happens. Magic is the result of the witchcraft that you do. So if you do happen to be a smoker or an alcoholic, you still have to seek help from your medical practitioner to help you along the way so you can break the bad habit. And it can be any type of bad habit, not just smoking or drinking. It can be a addiction to sex, a addiction to video games, a addiction to watching porn, a addiction to makeup, a addiction to shopping. I mean, any addiction can be bad if you do it too much. There is such a thing as too bad with it. Is the way you can. There is addictions things that you might not think are bad can become bad if it is interfering with your livelihood. It's upsetting the people around you. So you do have to do your part too. It's not just enough to do magic, and not magic because that's what comes afterwards. It's not just enough to do witchcraft and expect the problem to go away or to expect the solution to come with you. You still have to do your part. So let's say, let me give you another example. Let's say you want, overeating too. Any bad habit that you might have. So let me give you an example. Let's say you want a pair of red bottom shoes. They cost about $700 in the store. Okay, fine, no problem. So you can't afford it. So you do a spell to bring that money to you so you can afford those red bottom shoes. But you know what? You still have to do your part. You might have to get a second job. But that second job might pay you a lot more money so you can afford those red bottom shoes. You see what you just did? You did your part and you made magic happen because you went out and got a second job or a third job so that you can afford those red bottom shoes because they cost about $700. That's quite a bit of change. But if you do your part, you'll see that money to afford them come to you quicker because you did your part. You did your part. You didn't just sit there and wait for the spell that you did just work on its own. Witchcraft just gives you a boost. Witchcraft is when you go to the supernatural for help because what's happening in the natural is not quick enough. But you still have to do your part. Now when it comes to banishing spells, if you have somebody in your life that you don't want in your life anymore, stop talking to that person. Stop talking to that ex-boyfriend or that ex-girlfriend. Stop it. Stop answering their texts. Stop following them on social media. If you continue to reach out to that ex, that banishing spell is not going to work because you are not doing your part to stay away from them. Banishing spells only work if you stay away from that bad habit or that bad person. But if you continue to overeat, if you continue to be a raving alcoholic, if you continue to be addicted to drugs, if you continue to put that needle into your arm, if you continue to smoke, that spell will never work until you do your part. That's the best example that I can give anybody that's new doing witchcraft. That's the best example that you will ever hear. And very bluntly too, because you know I don't sugarcoat anything. So those are my 5 banishing spells. I will upload this to YouTube, but I will also leave this broadcast up for the replay. So if you came on late, you can rewatch it. Alright? So thank you for joining me tonight, and I might come on again this coming up week. So I will let you know on all of my social media sites. And thank you for joining me, and blessed be everybody. Thank you. Bye. You're welcome. Bye.